Hello and welcome back to another fantastic episode. Very important episode this morning of Banish the Doubt. I want to talk to you about this. I'm not sure if it's a book or something. It goes back to ancient Chinese. It's called the Hua Hu Ching, and it's, I believe, part of the Tao Te Ching, something similar to that. But it starts off by saying dissolving the mind is a matter of not doing anything. Dissolving the mind, sort of flushing this mind out, is a matter of not doing anything. Now, that flies in the face of what we've been conditioned to believe, right? In this hustle and competitive world of ours, right? You have to work harder, work longer hours, grind more, um, burn the midnight oil, all these conditioned behaviors and ideas that we have been led to believe how we free ourselves or transcend above any type of afflictions or things of that nature. It goes on. Simply avoid being attached to what you see and hear. Now, this works in conjunction to what in previous videos I have talked about, where I have said and I've quoted from Neville Goddard, right? Deny the evidence of the senses and assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled. So this sort of works in almost in unison, parallel. I'm also going to talk about Carl Jung and his book called The Undiscovered Self. But the Hua Ching, it's a little challenging to say that, goes on. Relinquish the notion that you are separated from the all knowing, the universal consciousness, God consciousness. Relinquish this notion that you are separated from this mind of the universe. Okay, this universal, some people call it the universal cosmic energy or source energy. There's all different things, the way we talk about it. But relinquish this notion that you are separated from it, because we're not. This is not only something that you are connected to, it is something that you are. And I got talked about this in previous videos, you watching this, you are a spark that can grow when you start to believe that you are a divine being. You are a part of all of this. We have this in us. Carry this inner vision around with you. Okay, so again, it goes parallel with denying the evidence of the senses. Only believe. Do not be afraid. Only believe in that who you are. Be silent. Okay, the way we dissolve the mind is we don't do anything. We just become silent. Any thoughts of separation is a complete and total illusion. Then we recover your original pure insight. So once we realize this, okay, once we realize that any thoughts of separation are a complete illusion, we recover our original pure insight and we see through all the illusions. So once you start to really understand this and start to make this a part of your being, you actually start to see the life in front of you. Not that you're separated from it, because we're all interconnected, but you're looking at it through a different filter. You're starting to see the people. You could almost like see the inside of the people. You could almost see inside of their minds, because as we were growing up, right, were we not led to believe actions speak louder than words? So we start to see the actions of others through this filter of who we truly are on the inside. So if you correct your mind, this is a really powerful statement. Okay. So if you correct your mind, the rest of your life will fall into place. So if you correct your mind, the rest of your life just sort of takes place. Excuse me, takes its orderly place. Okay. That is all of your addictions, all of your afflictions, all of your pains, all of your frustrations, all of your angers, any overweightedness, any addictions to sugar, to caffeine, to obviously alcohol and other forms of drugs, any thoughts or addictions to thoughts of lack of self-esteem, lack of self-worth, doubts, fears, anxieties, all of this starts to fall into place. All of this, you start to become separated from that. That sort of, like I was talking about, we flush that out of our mind. And we do this by meditating, by becoming quiet, okay, by taking time out of our day. And whatever thoughts come up, we just allow them to come up. We don't judge them. We just notice that they are part of the wake. They are part of us who is no longer. They're still there. We could still we could still recount them. We could still recall them, right? Because you could still recall things from when you were 5 or 6 years old, excuse me, 7 years old, in high school or whatever, but we let go of the emotional attachment with these. So we understand again, dissolving the mind is a matter of not doing anything. Dissolving the mind is a matter of just being still. So I want to share a passage from this book called The Undiscovered Self by Carl Jung. Right? So he goes on, he's talking here about our psyche. And he says, without consciousness, there would, practically speaking, be no world. For the world exists as such only insofar as it is consciously reflected and consciously expressed by a psyche. Consciousness is the precondition of being. Consciousness is the precondition of being. So this is why I've talked about in previous videos, and I will talk about it again today. We learn to live in the moment. We learn to understand that it is now o'clock, right? The watch I have on my wrist, it's now o'clock. We start to understand and live from this premise. We learn to live in the moment and to free ourselves of any past that's any kind of baggage that we're carrying around. We start to understand that the baggage that we do carry around, each day that we are awakened to a new day is a brand new day. We don't have a bag. We're not carrying anything around other than that we consciously, right? Because it says consciousness is the precondition of being. So if you're being overwhelmed, if you're being stressed out, it's because you're consciously hanging on to this bag. You're allowing those rocks to stay inside the bag. And a lot of this stressed out or anxious mentality or things of that nature are really things that we picked up from others in our life, namely our parents and role modelers, those people who role modeled those types of behaviors growing up. So we're carrying, in a sense, their rocks. So we let go. We learn to let go and just, what's the saying? Let go and let God. Let go and just let the source take it. Let it go in the wake. Let it be there. Remember, the wake doesn't power the boat. The present moment energy powers the boat in the direction of the way it's going. So if we don't like the direction it's going, then we let go, we understand, we recognize the wake for what it is, and we course correct with our present moment being present moment energy. So Carl Jung goes on, thus the psyche is endowed with the dignity of a cosmic principle, universal intelligence, which philosophically and in fact gives it a position co-equal with the principle of physical being. The carrier, you and I, of this consciousness is us, who does not produce the psyche on his own volition, but is, on the contrary, preformed by it and nourished by the gradual awakening consciousness during childhood. So it works in sort of in unison. We start to pick up, right? As our consciousness starts to expand during our childhood, we start to become more aware. And like Dr. Wayne Dyer talked about, if you can imagine a clock on the wall, and obviously at 12 o'clock, and we go around the clockwise, 12, 3, 6, 9, and then back to 12. Well, consciousness then at 12 o'clock is when we were born. From 12 to 3 is our awakening, is our consciousness coming to understand who we are in this world that we're living in. From 3 to 6, and if 12 o'clock is our ultimate connection with this cosmic energy, God consciousness, then at 6 o'clock we are the furthest away from that. We are the ego body. We are out there crushing it. We are out there trying to accumulate things, possessions. We're trying to take down the other guy, the other girl. Like we have to crush the competition. See, so we're furthest away from it. Then we start to swing back towards 9 o'clock. We start to understand our consciousness now. We start understanding that, right? Dissolving the mind is a matter of not doing. So dissolving the mind of all of this accumulated stuff that we've picked up along the way when this ego body, when we were really sort of in the throes of this, understanding that this is true success, right? So from 6 to 9, we start understanding, because a lot of times at 6 is when in our life we find out, we get the news of, well, the word malignant means this, or there's a heart disease, or there's some sort of malady, right? So again, all of those addictions and the poisons, all of that, we start around 6 o'clock when we're furthest away from this universal consciousness, and a lot of times when our bodies take this on. So at 9 o'clock, we start to really understand who we are at our core. And then, of course, from 9 to 12, we go back to that connection with the universal mind, God consciousness. So if you're watching this, and if you're watching this, this video was attracted to you. You attracted this video into your life. You're understanding now that in order to rid yourself of these afflictions, to rid yourself of this thinking, it doesn't have to be that somebody is a full-blown alcoholic or drug abuser. But if somebody, you're just dealing with a lot of concerns in your life about, or an illness maybe you're dealing with, or just thoughts of, I can't seem to understand, I'm always stressed out, or I'm at a job. And a lot of times corporate jobs, you hear a lot of people leaving them because why? They're stressed out. They can't focus properly. Well, this type of a video and these types of books and these types of practices really help to separate you from that, but not separate from, like I mentioned, universal consciousness or Christ consciousness or God consciousness, because we are connected to that. So we start to connect with who we are. And either you would keep the same job, you have a different philosophy towards it, or you recognize, what, that's not who I really am at my core. So we start to learn how to follow that message, follow that voice, okay? So this is how we go about the way of kind of dissolving the mind of all of this type of negative thinking. And we start to dissolve the mind or pull ourselves away from this addictive type of thinking. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching these videos, for commenting on these videos. If you feel free to comment down below, let me know if there's anything in your life that you feel like maybe this video has helped you to at least broaden your awareness, and then how you're going to start to maybe implement some of this. It could just be 5 or 10 minutes a day. Control your breathing. Go to a quiet place. In the Bible, it talks about go upstairs, which is to a higher consciousness. Go upstairs into a closet, close your eyes, and lose all thoughts. All thoughts, Jesus talked about. No more thoughts. That's what they meant in the Bible, talking about meditating. You go upstairs, you go to God's house. That's what they talked about. Go to the right side, or go to your right side, meaning go to your right brain thinking. Start to introduce that type of thought. Left brain thinking is more the analytical mind. You want to get away from that. So this is the practice that we start to put into place. We start to implement that. That's what they mean by dissolving the mind is a matter of not doing. Just go into a place that's nice and quiet. Thank you guys for watching these videos. Thank you for subscribing. If you haven't done so already, feel free to hit the subscription subscribe button and hit the notification bell. Thank you so much. I appreciate each and every one of you, and have a wonderful day, and God bless.